The biggest challenge, I would say, was recalibrating my sense of financial security and my feeling of how much in the bank is enough in life for me. To transition from a number motivated by baseless fears to an actual practical realistic amount was actually hell of a difficult. I mean, it took me years. Another biggie was reframing how I saw money, its role in my present and my future, and learning how to make money work for me. In this sense, quitting corporate was possibly the best life lesson in growing up and getting real. Then there's stuff like explaining yourself to others, lesser avenues for social interaction, dealing with feeling lost in life, and etc. So today I thought I'll have an honest chat about all these and how I ended up resolving them. And no, I didn't just quit 2 seconds ago. It's actually been 12 years since I left my career as a lawyer in a Big Four law firm. So I'm glad if today I'm able to offer you a longer time frame perspective on quitting corporate to go do something completely different. So let's dive right in. Financial insecurity and recalibration. Being Singaporean generally is great, but it usually also means having a really strong sense of financial insecurity. Those initial years after quitting, even at say the 5-year mark post-quit, I often felt panicked and deeply insecure. My old expectations of life and financial security lingered in my mind. I no longer made thousands of dollars each month, and I don't have hundreds of thousands sitting in the bank. So what the heck was I doing with my life dangling about? The Singaporean programming made me simmer in so much self-doubt. It was really painful. But also post-quit, I traveled. I met people from all walks of life, from rich to poor. It really opened my eyes to how varied and different people's ways of life can be. Luxury isn't always happiness, and happiness isn't necessarily about having money at all. I realized that my financial perspective was pretty dang distorted. Because I lived and worked at the local standards in places like Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, I could see myself growing old very happily in those places, and I started getting a really good idea of how much a comfortable life there would really actually cost. So then my financial target numbers for living a good life actually started becoming realistic and achievable. So then what I was doing with my life became not so crazy after all. Reframing my thoughts about money. Pre-quit, I was an idiot when it came to money. I had a great job, big salary, I spent whatever I felt like spending, and whatever left over was, ta-da, my savings. That was the extent of my money strategy back then. That's a sucky strategy, by the way, don't do that. Basically, I couldn't stop working, or else the money would also stop. And I thought the money can just keep piling up in the bank, and according to everyone, I would, by default, be happy. Turns out, that's just bull. Loads of money doesn't actually make you very happy if you're also depressed, in bad health, and you hate what you do every single day. Everything I did post-quit really hammered home the point that money is only a tool to help us live our best lives. It lets you travel, try new stuff, keep you safe, gives you shelter, buys meals and gifts for your family. So now I think I only need enough money to let me and my family live a safe, happy, and fulfilling life together. Beyond that, really, I'll actually like to die with zero. I also had to get smart about money strategies. I learned to save effectively, i.e. automate your savings before you start spending. I learned to budget and forecast expenditure. I learned about investing, about decoupling my income from my time. To the cynics out there, it all sounds like hogwash. But I'm guessing other people who are also on this path will agree that this one thing, how you think about money and how you deal with it, can really make all that difference. Explaining yourself to others. Learn to tell the difference between someone who's genuinely interested about the alternative life choices you're making and People who are just waiting to trap you into a debate about the wisdom of your choices. In which case, generally, the policy of not saying too much works quite well. Most of the time, I guess we all wouldn't really know where our alternative life choices would ultimately lead us. But I know for certain, just leaving corporate made me infinitely happier. And I know that even though my new life wasn't secure or stable and I made far less money, I loved how alive it made me feel and how feeling like life held all sorts of possibilities made me really hopeful about what it could be in the future. All that means I didn't feel the need to debate my life choices with others or to justify myself to them. What they thought didn't matter. I'm doing this and I'm not going to change because someone made snide comments. I guess if other people's opinions start to really affect you, it maybe isn't really about what they think, but possibly about how their comments play into your own deep, dark fears, probably about failure and hardship in your old age and whatnot. In which case, it's probably a good idea to review your overall life plan, what your specific concerns are, and what backup plans you have in place to deal with exigencies. Which kind of brings me to my next point, fears and fear setting. So a lot of talk about quitting is about overcoming that, fear that prevents you from quitting, that leap of faith. But most, if not all, of those fears will continue to persist for a long time after you have left because you still have got to figure out an entire new life. So what we all need to realize is that there's fear, which is like vague, scary, looming shadows, like the thought of, bankruptcy, or, ending up by the roadside old and homeless. And then there's practical concerns that can be defined specifically, and you can make a backup plan to resolve, which is much better. So defining your fears, planning preventative or reparative action to resolve each specific fear is part of an amazingly helpful exercise designed by Tim Ferriss called Fearsetting. So here's the 3-page PDF that for me has been life-changing. In addition to dealing with fears, the PDF guides you to also consider what might be the benefit of an attempt or a partial success versus the costs of inaction, emotionally, physically, financially, over different time frames. I've done this myself so many times, and it's helped me to affirm that what I'm doing is the right call for me and to help me feel more confident in my own plans overall and achieve everything I've truly wanted. So this is amazing. Highly encourage you all to try it. Getting lost along the way and new life KPIs. If you've spent your entire life having your time and purpose dictated by your boss and that job, unbridled freedom post-quit probably is super exhilarating at the start, but then can quickly devolve into feelings of being lost and depressed, and things start going all pear-shaped. Whatever we are doing, whether we are in a job, running a business, nomading away, being a full-time mom, or an active retiree, I think feeling productive and engaged every day is the key to feeling happy and feeling that what we do with our lives is meaningful. We're probably used to measuring our days and our achievements with traditional KPIs, right? Like, how much money did we make today? Did we put in a solid 8 hours of work? Is my boss happy? Now, those have got to go, and we need new relevant KPIs. You gotta ask yourself, what's important to you? How do you want to measure your life? You, not the company, not your boss. Lesser social interaction. So corporate work usually means lots of colleagues. You're in the trenches together, there's gossip, complaining, making lame jokes by the coffee machine. Lots of social opportunities with no effort needed. Quitting and doing something alternative, completely different, is usually a far more quiet endeavor, less chances of social interaction. Personally, I'm not one for small talk, so I can't say honestly I've missed the social aspects all that much. What I can say is that company for company's sakes doesn't mean much. I'll rather be alone any day with my own thoughts. But if one sought human connection in whatever settings, usually all one has to do is just to start by saying hi. And being a decent person goes a long way in most places. Right, so that's the 6 biggest challenges I've faced in the 12 years post-quit. For those of you who have also left the corporate life to do something completely different, what are you doing now? And are you happier? Tell me in the comments below. The stories you all share gives me and so many others so much hope for the future. So thank you very much. Take care. Let's speak again soon. Bye-bye.